What's good, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Season 6, Episode 9, titled Pretty Petty. Pretty Petty. This episode was pretty petty. This episode they could have kept, to be quite honest with you. Like, a part of me is like, damn, New York. I mean, see, I think this is New York. I'm about to say New York is not giving it to me, but this is Hollywood. I would expect this from a Love and Hip Hop New York, even Miami. Because Miami didn't give much this past season, but at least Miami gave a little bit more than what Hollywood has given us. I mean, yeah, this is Hollywood. Because, I mean, the only thing about Miami that I did not like was the Roots thing with JoJo, which they just started production of season 3 last week. And coincidentally, Bobby Lights got arrested last week. So season 3 of New York, season 10 of New York is in production as well as Miami season 3. Are you guys looking forward to either one of those? With New York, I probably will say that I am interested in seeing New York because I know that I'm not interested in seeing Safari and Erica Mena. By no means am I interested in seeing that, but I know Jim and Chrissy are back. I know Olivia's back. I know Samaya Reese is back. I wonder, is Samaya still with her is Samaya with her girlfriend, Lady Luck? It's a lot of Tahiri's coming back. It's a lot of people that are coming back for season 10 of New York. You know what? When it comes to New York, I'm so interested to see what the dynamics are going to be between Jim, Chrissy, and Yandy. Oh, they haven't saw each other since season 2, and they didn't do a reunion that year because of, Kristen didn't want to be on stage with Yandy, so they had to do those. Oh God, that was a season when they had to do those interviews with them separately. It was so stupid. And they did the same thing for season 5 of Atlanta, I believe that was. Season 5 of Atlanta. I'm thinking it was Atlanta. I think it was season 5. Yeah, that was the season that Karen Kingdom came on. So yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, the season when Tommy went to whip Johnson's ass. But you guys, let's go ahead and just get into this video. I'm gone long enough and I've given this video more time than it probably would have had otherwise. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. All right, you guys, so I'm just going to start out with Mickey Monday because to me, his stuff was just really very, very boring. So, Mickey Monday, his family, they're having a barbecue, cookout, whatever you want to call it. And Slick Woods is there as well. I'm laughing about Slick because have y'all saw, I know that everybody saw this video of her on the runway doing the walk. A lot of people were talking shit about it. I'm like, hell, that's her walk. I mean, if that's the way she walked, that's the way she walks. But Mickey Monday, and my thing with Mickey Monday on this show is it kind of feels like Mickey is an opportunist because it just feels like he's using Slick for an opportunity. I'm not saying that's exactly what he's doing, but it's just how it comes off on screen. Because, he's talking about his issue with, Trisha, how, she put him down with Akon, but his music career, his acting career, none of that stuff went off the way he wanted it to go off. And then, he said that, and so she did that, and she put him in touch with someone who was going to help him with his money, but that fell by the wayside as well. And I'm like, well, damn, like, okay. So when it comes down to it, so Trisha's had 2 strikes now. So don't let there be a third time with Trisha. Like, find somebody on your own. Like, go out and find somebody reputable, someone that has a good track record. Like, especially when it comes to money. Find somebody that is good with money. Find a good money manager. And when it comes to your music career, you got to get out there and hustle yourself. Like, I know Trisha's supposed to be, A&R for Akon. But, sometimes they throw these titles to people who are not necessarily qualified for the position. So that's why you need to go out and do your own research on your music, your money. Like everything that you do, you need to make sure that you do the research. Don't rely on other people to do it for you. Am I making sense? Like, that's just how I feel personally. Like, when I'm going to do something for myself, I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing before I even do it. And also the same if I'm going to have someone else do something for me. I want to know that they are the best at what they might not have to be the number one, but they need to be high quality. Like, they need to know what the fuck they're doing before they can do shit for me. Like, if you do something for somebody else and you fuck it up, I don't want you to come over here and fuck something up for me. Like, it's not gonna happen. I don't want that because if I'm paying you, I need you to do it the way that I need you to do it so that I get a return on my investment. ROI, people, ROI. Like I don't get. I mean, I don't understand it. But so he's talking to his family. So he's talking about Teeny Fizzle Pop and Bug. They having their last show out there in Vegas, and they want him to come out there. But with all this money issues that he's having, he's not quite sure if he wants to go out there. And Slick Woods tells him like, your idea of what a man should be and what a man should do is kind of outdated. And I'm like, okay, if that's how she feels, I'm not gonna say yay or nay toward it. That's how she feels. And she also tells him, she also tells him like, I got your back, and that's why I say it just feels like it's opportunistic to me, because you got this famous girl, this famous model, and here you are. I'm not saying that Mickey Monday's nobody, but when you put those names together, you put Slick Woods and Mickey Monday together, who's gonna be the one that everybody knows? Oh, I know who Slick Woods is, and there are going to be people who know who Mickey Monday is, but more people are gonna know who Slick Woods is because of her affiliation with Rihanna and Fenty brand, as opposed to Mickey Monday. People I know, because I know when the trailer came out, and I asked on Twitter like who was the white guy with the curly hair. Most people said they did not know. Most people said that they did not know who he was, and there were like a few people who said Mickey Monday, and I had to go look him up and see him. I'm like, oh, okay. So, and I'm not saying anything bad about Mickey Monday. By no means am I saying anything bad about him. I'm just saying when it comes down to him and Slick Woods, who do more people know? Slick versus Mickey. And I'm not being shady. I'm not talking shit about it. I'm just saying actual factuals. But we're gonna move on. All right. So the episode. Now it actually opened up where it ended last week. You guys remember last week's episode? Clutch and Pearls, aka Auntie Faye, he was talking to Ray J, and they heard a noise downstairs, so they went downstairs to see who it was in the house. Now I thought it was Pam and her piercings, but it wasn't Pam and her piercings. It was Little Lyrica's friend Sia, and they were like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I just came to feed the dogs." I'm like, "You came to feed the dogs?" Me and Ray said the same thing. You lying. Little Lyrica sent you over here to check on A1, which that is definitely 100% true. So, then Clutch and Pearls asked her, like, so where's my wife at? She's like, I don't know. Like, you might need to reach out. You need to reach out to her yourself. And then he also said, well, where's my son? And I'm thinking the same thing that she said. So now you're worried about where your son is? Like, that's so funny. You're worried about your son now. But you weren't worried about your son when you was screwing Summer Bunny, to mess with the chick on the plane, whoever else you was mess with. You weren't thinking about your son at that time. Now, were you? Were you? And then this fool gonna say he gonna file a missing persons report. You can't file a missing persons report on a person that's not technically missing. Little Lyrica and as Roxanne calls him, Baby Dap, he's not missing. They're not missing. She up and left you, so she's not missing, and she didn't. Like a missing persons report, really? That was the only thing that he could think of. He was gonna file a missing persons report. A missing persons report, my nigga. Missing persons. They're not missing. They weren't kidnapped. They weren't abducted. She got her shit, she took her baby, and she left you. So your baby's not missing, your wife is not missing. You're missing them. You are missing them, but they are not missing. Like, get out of here with that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here with that. Like, are you serious? A missing persons report. And he was talking about when he was in Miami, he didn't do anything. He was on business. I'm like, nigga, business? Okay. If you say so. But we're gonna move on. All right, you guys. So if you guys notice that I'm looking to the it's my left. Well, it might be the right for you guys, but if you guys notice I'm looking to the left, what I'm looking at is live coverage of, because it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday morning, almost Tuesday afternoon, but it's Tuesday here in Dallas, and I'm watching the Amber Geiger thing, the case, and they just found her guilty of murder, which amen to that one. So if you guys notice that I'm looking, that's what I'm looking at, because they're getting ready to go into sentencing for her today. So just putting that out there. But we're gonna move on with the show. So we have Jason Lee. So Jason Lee was doing that interview with K Michelle, which a lot of I think I talked about it in the first episode review that I did, and I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with it at all then, and I still don't agree with it now. I think Jason Lee, when it comes down to him in his interviews, it's always about him. Like he talks about himself so much, and it kind of overshadows the interviewer. Like it just overshadows the guest that he's interviewing. So I don't typically watch Hollywood Unlocked at all. I watched Hollywood Unlocked for that Monique's interview, and I liked the Monique's interview. I thought it was excellent because she articulated herself so well. But then I saw, up under that, it on YouTube it suggested K Michelle's interview. So I went and watched K Michelle's interview, and I did not like K Michelle's interview at all because in that interview he started it out talking shit about April, and I'm like, because I guess that was the first time that Melissa Ford had been back since her accident, but he was just sitting there talking shit about April. I'm like, really, you talking shit about her? Like, I get it. You didn't like her on the show. You prefer Melissa Ford. I get it. Nothing wrong with that. But to sit there and just talk about this girl like a dog, like I didn't agree with that. And then, you bring K Michelle in on it to talk about April and Monique. Like you didn't even have to, first of all, you didn't have to bring that up about them going on tour with each other or if she would let them hold her bags. That was unnecessary to me. I just felt like that was completely unnecessary for his big penguin built ass. I just thought that was so fucking unnecessary. Like there are ways to conduct interviews. Like take Wendy Williams for example. And even with his interview with Wendy, it was a good interview with Wendy, but in that interview, he did talk a lot about himself. He talked a lot about himself. But taking Wendy Williams, for instance, Wendy is messy as fuck, but Wendy knows how to get an interview done. Like, and that's why I honestly don't care for Jason Lee, big penguin built ass. Like, there could have been so many ways he could have conducted that interview. That way, he didn't. First of all, I don't believe that he necessarily had to mention April. April was let go from the show. Melissa Ford is back. Be like, oh, we happy to have you back, Melissa. We had April standing in for you. And then you could have just said that. You could have left it at that. That's all you could have said. But no, he had to talk about how, bad she was. You're no better. And that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about with that interview because I just did not care for it. Well, we're going to move on since I'm talking about K Michelle. So we see K Michelle. She's at a country bar. We see Dr. Evil there with her. We see Brittany B. and we see Apple Watts. So Apple tells them that she's gonna go on. She listened to that. She listened to what Brittany said to her, and she took Brittany up on her advice. What she said about reaching out to her mom, and she's gonna go to Vegas for a family reunion. Now she's a little bit hood, and the family is a little bit bougie, but she's gonna go nonetheless. So then Kate Michelle's talking about her country music, and I'm like I've said before, I think I said this in the first review I did for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Country music, that is our thing. Black people created country music, but it's been whitewashed over the decades. And I love country music to this day, but it's just so funny because even in this interview they talked about in the Hollywood Online interview they talked about that. And they talked about how, upset people are about the Lil Nas X record, which I don't really 100% consider that record country. It's just the fact, I got the horses in the back. It's just that he just does that, make his voice sound what people think country sounds like. But I don't think the song 100% is country at all. It's not country. So yeah, they were talking about that, and how, like I say, Black people originated country and rock and roll. But like I say, over the decades, white people have come in, took our music, and whitewashed it. Like they would do it with R&B if we allowed that. They would do it with R&B. Like look at Robin Thicke, Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake. Who else? I'm not going to include Tina Marie because that's my girl. Like that voice is all soul, so I'm not going to include Tina Marie. Cannot include her. Because that is all soul, so I'm not going to include her. Because for the longest time, before I even saw who she was, I always thought she was black, listening to that damn voice. Who else? Adele. People try to group her but she's not in R&B. But Sam Smith. A lot of it's just if we would allow if we would allow it, they would completely wipe us out of R&B and say that they created it, but unfortunately, won't happen. So yeah, we're just gonna move on, you guys. I went long enough on that. All right, so next we're gonna move over to Princess. So she has Zell and Penguin over to her house, and she's talking about she wants to help with the launch of her makeup company, Perla. I think that's the name of it. She said she had a storefront. I think it was supposed to be like a nail shop or something, but she got screwed over in business, so she just decided to do this. So she wants, since Zell is so good with styling, she wants him to stop. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. She wants him to be about styling, I guess, the party itself. And she wants Penguin, aka Jason Lee, to be there to give her press and promotion for her brand. Cool, nothing wrong with that. So then Zell talks about how he wants he want to go to the party because he wants to find a woman, because he always sees himself settling down with a woman, and he hit on something that I think was pretty cool to hit on, because he's since he's been on the show, he has always openly admitted that he's bisexual, and it's just a taboo with bisexuality, like it's okay. It's not a taboo. It's a contradiction. It's double standard. Like it's okay for a woman to be bisexual. It's okay for a woman to sleep with a woman and then have a boyfriend. Not at the same time, but it's okay for them to do that. Like if a woman says, "Hey, I want a girlfriend," and then they break up, "Oh, I'm gonna go date a man." It's absolutely 100% cool. But when it's up to a man, they want to say, "Oh, it's either you're straight or you're gay." Not always the case. There are men who like both women and men, and I just hate that double standard. I think it's so stupid. Um. So then they're talking about who they're, Princess talks about who she invited to the party. She said that she invited Moniece to the party, and they like, Jason Lee was, aka Penguin, was like, why would you invite Moniece? She's like, because Moniece and I made up at the reunion last year, and we're not the best of friends, but we're cool, and I want her to come. Okay, cool. And then Zell says, well, you know what? I want to invite April. She's like, okay. She's like, I've never really hung around April like that, but that's fine. And then, Zell told Penguin that would be an opportunity that maybe he could apologize to her. And I don't think he should apologize to her for firing her for the comments or losing ratings and losing viewers. I don't think he should apologize for that. But he definitely should apologize for talking shit about her with K. Michelle. Absolutely should apologize for that. And then, he said that'll be the first time that she's ever out here ever talk, because she didn't talk on the Hollywood Unlocked, and that's fine. If you and back to the Hollywood Unlocked interview, if he wants to say, it's good to have you back, Melissa Ford, April filled in for you, but we missed like your spunk, your sass, your whatever. You could have said that and not threw shots or talk shit about April. There are ways that you could spin that. Just as simple as that. Like, I just really think he could have did so much differently with that. So then we see Ray and Princess. So they're out and they have little baby Melody with them. And I've been meaning to say this for the last few videos, but congratulations are in order for Ray and Princess, who are expecting their second child. So congratulations to those two. But and this is what she was talking about. She was talking about having baby number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm like, well, damn, you need to get to baby number 2. But basically what it is she just wants Ray to get healthy. And I have in my notes that they were talking about her party. Oh yeah, they were talking about the party, how they don't want Zell and I guess Penguin to get into it with each other. But I'm like, why would they get into it with one another? And then they talk about clutching pearls, and I really, be honest with you guys, this part and the last part of the episode, I was half asleep on because I was thoroughly bored with the episode. But we're gonna move on. All right, so leading to the launch party for Princess, we saw Moniece and April, so they were catching up. And April's talking about how she's back in LA after being in Chicago. No one gives a fat fuck. And she tells Moniece that she cannot do the tour with her. And Moniece is like, okay, that's fine. She's like, but I just want to make sure that there were no outside influences, i.e. K. Michelle, in that Hollywood Unlocked interview. And April says, no, it's not that. But April is, however, pissed off about that interview. And, I understand why April was pissed off because, again, he talked shit about her. It was one thing for you to tell her in her face that, the viewership was low, the viewers didn't necessarily connect with you, so we're letting you go. That's fine. That's part of life. Like, that's like with most of these TV shows, these talk shows, or any kind of show. If the advertisers pulls out, there's no show to back. Like, there's no show. Like, they're losing money. But whatever. I'm just so over this shit. But then they talked about again, shit. I guess I was half asleep with this one too, because April was pissed off about that. And then they talked about the party. I know Monique said that they could go and dress alike to go to the party. I'm like, wow, we're really going out with this sister wife shit, huh? Okay, whatever. So then we'll just move over to Princess's launch party. So Ray, that nigga was stuffed in that shirt, but he looked decent in it. He looked nice in that shirt. Um, we see Penguin. He shows up, and April and Monique are there. So April goes up to Jason Lee, aka Penguin, and tells him she didn't respect him, and and says that he asked her to be on the show. Okay, now that's fine. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that. It's like because I've already talked about it once. He should have went a different route when talking shit about her on the air with K Michelle. He could have said what I just said a few minutes ago. He could have, because it wouldn't have been necessarily him talking shit about April. It just would have been him saying it would be a shot taken, but not a big shot. It would be a subtle shot if he just said, "Hey, Melissa, good to have you back. We had April filling in for you for a few weeks, and we could have said thank you, April, for sitting in for Melissa. And Melissa, we really miss your spunk, your spontaneity, your tenacity, your whatever. You could have said anything of that sort. Cause I don't watch the show, so I don't know what Melissa Ford does. I don't even know what April did because I don't watch the show, unless it's somebody on there that I want to see, and it's very rare that there's somebody on there that I want to see, because their interviews are pretty long. And he talks about himself a lot, but that's all I'm gonna say. But and then Jason says he didn't understand why April was so mad. And I'm like, you don't understand why she was so mad. How would you feel if you filled in for somebody and someone asked you to fill in for them and you do it? Now, again, I'm not knocking him for firing her, but what I am knocking him for is talking shit about her once, they let her go. Like, how would you feel if somebody talks shit about you afterwards? After they fired you, how would you feel if somebody talks shit about you and you could see that shit? Just put yourself in her shoes. But they let it, they make bygones and be bygones. I don't care. I'm moving on because this episode just wasn't that good to me. But stick around, guys. All right, and then lastly, you guys. So we had Teeny Fizzle Pop. They were back in LA, and they met up with Mickey Monday. It was Clutch and Pearls, and it was Booby. And I'm like, what the fuck is Booby doing right? And Book was there too. So, they're talking about Raz B's domestic violence case that he got. I forgot what city they were in. And, Fizz talking about, people thought it was going to be me who wasn't going to be able to last to the end of this, the tour. And I'm like, what? Shut up. You're stupid. And then they talking about how Raz B needs to get help. I agree. He does need help. No doubt about it. He's been through a lot. And my thing is, y'all are his bandmates. So I would think at some point in y'all's life that y'all were at least cordial or friendly with each other. Like, y'all can't sit down and talk to this man and be like, yo, Raz, you wilding out, bro. Like, what's good? Like, what can we do to help you? Like, do you need us to take you to counseling? What do you need? What do you need for us to make things good for you? And the biggest thing for him is Chris Stokes. I was pissed off at them when they brought Chris Stokes around. Like, I'm like, y'all know that is a big trigger for that man. So why would y'all do some stupid shit like that? Like, y'all know that this is a trigger for Raz B, obviously, but y'all gonna do it either way it go. So fucking stupid. And Teeny Fizzlepop just gets on my fucking nerves. Him and April, they get on my last goddamn nerves. So then he talked about, his grandmother had a heart attack and she's on life support. My condolences to that one, because, I don't know if she survived, but life support, that's not good. So, whew. And you know, they talk about how the last show was in Vegas and they want everyone to come out. And you know, Cluster Pro's like, well, is little Lyrical gonna be there? Because you know she left, and I don't care. I don't care. That's so stupid. But we see the crew. They're getting ready to head to Vegas. So we got Paris and Zell there. We got Brittany being Apple, and we got Mickey and Booby. Again, I don't know why Booby's around. So Paris and Zell are being so petty toward Brittany B, and you could hear them being petty. Like you could hear them being petty, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And then you know she heard them, and she addressed them, and then they got mad, and they going off on her. I'm like, "Are you serious?" But y'all the ones that started with her, and her Paris big ass come fucking with her. Like, are you fucking joking? Because Brittany B said she could call them something. I don't know what she said. And then Paris said, you don't have the room to call me nothing. But you're starting with her. What did you expect her to do? And she said she could. She didn't say she would. She didn't call you that. She said she could call you something. Well, technically, she did call you that, but whatever. This episode was so boring and stupid. But you guys, that was the episode. So be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button. And if you guys would like to find me outside of YouTube, my Instagram is going to be Jbsayzwhat, like my name is on YouTube. My Twitter is JB_the_CEO. And my Snapchat, I don't know it by heart. So everything, about me, like my handles, is in my description bar below. And also, I have an email. So if you guys want to email me stuff, the email is also in the description bar below. But I will see you guys later on tonight for Greenleaf.